Hi, fifth graders. We are back to read two more chapters out of Save Me a Seat. So last week when um, we left off with Joe, and he had just received a letter from his dad apologizing to him for making it seem like he didn't like who Joe was as a person. So let's go ahead and pick up with chapter 29, Ravi. I'm sitting in the living room in my pajamas, drinking a cup of Ovaltine. Quitting is not an option, my father tells me. Your father is right, says Karima. Look how hard he is working in America, Ravi. Taking the train up and down every day, always on the phone. Do you see him giving up? Paripa picks up his newspaper and goes out to the living room to read in peace. Karima gets the bottle of red Ayurvedic oil from the medicine cabinet, and Amma rubs some on my shoulder to relieve the pain. Put this on, she says, handing me the red sweater and matching monkey cap that my other grandmother knitted for me as a parting gift. You need to cover up if you're coming down with a cold. Get back into bed and rest. When you wake up, I'll make you some rasam and rice. I repeat, says Appa as he straightens the knot in his necktie. Quitting is not an option. My life is a mess. Sleep is the only escape I can think of, so I do as my mother has told me. I put on the sweater and the tight monkey cap, which covers not only my head but most of my face, and go back up to my room. I wake up at 1:30 in the afternoon, dripping with sweat. I pull off the sweater and monkey cap and throw them on the floor. My shoulder feels a little better, but my sleep has not been a restful one. Miss Frost's face haunted me in my dreams. Assumptions are often wrong, she kept saying over and over again. Where's the monkey cap? Karima asks when I come down the stairs. The wind in this country will be the end of us all. There's no wind inside the house, Karima, and the monkey cap is soaking wet. Amma must have turned the temperature up, because it feels like an oven in our house. Are you hungry, Ravi? Hurry and eat your mother's runny rasam, Karima tells me. Then we will get to work. Work on what, Karima? Your mother and I have gone through your backpack, she says, and you have been slipping up on your assignments, Ravi. No wonder you wanted to quit. She hands me my agenda book and points to something I had written on the first day of school. Personal reflection. Bring in an object that you feel represents who you are, along with one sentence explanation for why you chose this particular object. Please write your sentence on an index card and do not put your name on the card. It's due tomorrow, Ravi, Amma says. Why haven't you been working on it? Did you forget? Don't worry, says Karima. While you were sleeping, your mother and I have taken care of it. What do you mean? I ask. We went to Staples and we bought all the supplies, Amma says. And I bought you more mechanical pencils, too, Raja. I was hoping she wouldn't notice the pencils were missing. I know that they disappeared, but I have no idea where they went. You're too soft on him, Roshni, sniffs Karima. Losing all his pencils? And the napkin from his tiffin box, too. If his father had been so careless with his things, I would have made him pay to replace them. Amma reaches out and takes my hand. Leave your wasam to cool and come see what we've done, she says. The truth is, Mrs. Beam's assignment had totally slipped my mind. Personal reflection. At first, I thought it would be easy. I hadn't even given it a second thought. I knew who I was. But now, after 3 days at Albert Einstein Elementary School, I am no longer the same person I used to be. I am Curryhead, a loser who can't speak English and has no friends. Amma and Karima led me to Appa's office. Spread out on the desk are colored markers, a gold pen, a silver one, white liquid glue, glitter, glass gems, and all kinds of other shiny stuff. A piece of white chart paper lies in the middle, and at the top, in her neatest cursive handwriting, my mother has written, Ravi, sharp and shining like the sun. The letters are gold, and the borders are decorated with glitter and gems as elaborate as Tanjore painting. Under this, they have glued down photographs, each with a shining border of its own. Pictures of me receiving the award for winning the math Olympiad, me standing on the podium with a gold medal for running, me holding my certificate for best outgoing student at Vijayandir. They've even taken one of my real medals and stuck it on the chart with sellotape. I should feel on top of the world, seeing all these reminders of my success, but instead my stomach is churning so badly, I think I'm going to be sick. Do you like it, Raja? My grandmother asks, her eyes twinkling with pride. I'm sorry, Parima, I say, with tears as my tears begin to flow. I can't take this to school. You were right. All of Paripa's hard work at the tea plantation was for nothing. I'm a complete failure here in America. She looks at me, and her face is soft. Do not cry, Ravi. Everything will be okay. Then she pats me on the back and quietly leaves the room. What is wrong, Ravi? My mother asks. You have to tell me. And this time I do. When I finish pouring out my heart to Amma, she puts her arms around me and wipes my tears with her pallu, the end of her saree. Do not worry, Raja, Amma says softly. I want to believe my mother, but nothing she has done so far has actually helped me. Not the non-katais, not the kandristi, not even her black tongue. Ravi, Parima is standing in the doorway with my grandfather. Your Paripa has something to tell you. My grandfather is wearing a warm sweater and a monkey cap of his own. In his hands, he holds a small tea strainer he has brought from the kitchen. Come, Ravi, he says. I have an idea. And that's the end of Thursday. So we are on to Friday, the last day of the week. And if you remember, Save Me a Seat takes place just during the first week of school. This is the last day before the end of the chapter, or before the end of the book, I should say. And Friday is pizza day. Chapter 30, Joe. Do you want to ride to school this morning? Mom asks. She's dressed and already wearing her apron. There's a flash of lightning followed by a boom of thunder. Sure, I tell her, looking out the window at the dark sky. I'll take a ride. I tip my glass up and drink the last of the strawberry banana smoothie she made me for breakfast. No huevos rancheros, just a smoothie and 2 bowls of cereal, like normal. Dad comes into the kitchen. There's a piece of tissue stuck to his chin where he's cut himself shaving. Did you tell him yet? He asks my mother. Tell me what? I ask nervously. I'm quitting my job, Mom says. You don't have to do that, I tell her, even though I really hope it's true. It's a done deal, she says. I already gave my notice. Today is going to be my last day. But don't we need the money? I ask. I'll find something else, my mom says. To be honest, I'm not crazy about the job anyway. When I suggested to the kitchen staff that maybe we could change the menu up a little bit, offer some healthier options like quinoa or tofu or something, they looked at me like I was crazy. I laugh. I'm happy to eat tofu and quinoa, but I'm even happier to eat chicken fingers and hamburgers. If my mother really isn't going to be the lunch monitor anymore, that means lunch can go back to being my favorite subject at school. Woo-hoo. Then there's another flash of lightning. I guess we're going to need our raincoats, Mom says. Game 1, 7 o'clock tonight, Dad reminds me. We're still on, right? Are you kidding? I say. Big Papi is going to bring it home for the Sox. You think I want to miss that? When I go upstairs to brush my teeth, I find Mia hiding under my bed. She's afraid of thunderstorms. Don't worry, Mimi, I tell her, reaching under the bed to give her a head of pat. Joey, my mother calls. Hurry up, the roads are going to be slick and I don't want to be late. I give Mia one more pat, grab my backpack, and run downstairs. All set? My mom asks, handing me my raincoat. She's already got hers on. 1 sec, I tell her. I go into the kitchen, open up the cupboard, and take out a small glass bowl, like the one my mother had put the chopped cilantro in the day before. What's that for? She asks as she watches me shove the bowl into my pocket. It's for an assignment, I tell her. I promise I'll bring it back. What's the assignment? She asks. I'll explain it to you in the car. When I tell my mom what I'm doing for my personal reflection project, she starts to cry. This time, for a change, it's the happy kind of crying. You are one terrific kid, she says. Do you know that? Believe it or not, I feel like I kind of do. I'm in a pretty good mood by the time we get to school. It doesn't hurt that Friday is pizza day at Einstein, my favorite school lunch of all. As we turn in the driveway, out of nowhere, this dark red minivan comes speeding around the corner and almost cuts us off. Watch out! My mother cries, honking her horn at them. The driver of the minivan honks back, but doesn't even slow down. She just zooms past all the cars waiting to drop kids off, then cuts in front of the line and parks sideways so nobody can get past. A dark-haired woman in a long blue dress jumps out holding the biggest umbrella I've ever seen in my life. It's really pouring now. As my mom and I run across the parking lot together, jumping over puddles, the woman in the blue dress hurries around to the other side of the minivan and opens the sliding back door. A minute later, a little kid in a funny red-looking hat, or a funny-looking red hat, gets out. He's so small, at first I think he's in first grade or something, but when he turns around and I see the way he pushes up his glasses with his thumb, I know right away who it is. And that's the end of our read aloud for today. So make a prediction or an inference using text evidence. Who do you think Joe just saw get out of the crazy driving minivan? Make sure you go do the response to reflect on our read aloud from today.